Because you can own by the school, and then something because Ivanhoe used to have that big sign.
You know what I heard?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Good. Thinking. Here. Renzo.
Here.
Sherrill.
Here.
Powell.
Here.
Warner.
Here. Okay, no president's statement because he's not here. Motion. Approval of the agenda.
So move.
Support. Motion's been made to approve the agenda and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Now, public statement regarding current agenda items only, limited to 3 minutes. Anyone? Consent agenda? Motion for that, please.
So move.
Support.
There's been a motion to approve the consent agenda and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? No unfinished business. No new business. Items for action, resolution 3/2022 to purchase the tax foreclosed property.
Yes, thank you. I discussed with President Huber this property and you have the information in your packet. We were able to get into it last week, our building official, and we're pleasantly surprised what they found there. We think that there's redeemable value there. It may be worth the $17,000 that is the back taxes due, which if we want it now, we have to pay. Because there is a risk that if we don't claim it now, it would go to auction and it could sell, and our opportunity to potentially pick it up again may not be there. It's all conjecture on whether somebody would actually bid that. If they don't, we would have another opportunity to get it for less than the $17,000 back taxes, of course. But it's a question of risk versus the opportunity to get it now. Given the cost of construction and that there's a number of things that could be potentially used for to the benefit of the village in the future, it seems worthwhile to us to pick it up. And I'm happy to answer questions, or otherwise my recommendation is to pass the resolution to acquire the property.
We got the audit back to see where we stand with the money.
Which audit you talking? The annual audit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not done, not yet. It'd be presented to you July, August timeframe. Probably more like August, so we wouldn't have it yet. It's not certainly from a budget austerity standpoint, as I've been taking the position on this being a discretionary expense. I've been saying no to things like that. The window of opportunity is now. Would I rather wait to another time where we had a clearer picture financially? Yeah, 17,000 doesn't seem all that much to me in the grand scheme of our budget, so I'm comfortable.
The crack in the wall, is that where that plywood is? On the outside?
On
the south side?
It's on the south side against the bank where the ground is. I'm trying to think where there's plywood on the outside.
There's probably about 8 foot down, there's a piece of plywood down there.
Okay, that may be part of it. We were of the perception that it was where the ground was pressing against it, and was at risk of caving in. That can be fixed. There would be expense to that. That could be 10, 15,000 or more.
Because I know down in the basement, there's a cistern down there.
Yeah, I've heard artesian well, and
Yeah.
Right.
Because I knew the guys that owned it, and
Yeah.
his son used to go down there all the time, and they have to check on it, because the dads didn't want to go down there.
Okay. And the building official wasn't able to get into all of the basement. We had permission from the county to do all this. We weren't trespassing. So couldn't didn't see everything, but that is
How does the
possible.
back end look?
The back end of,
Towards, Fulton House.
yeah, that's where the lean-to is for the.
That's where the bowling
fence.
machines used to be.
Rob was surprised by it. He thought that would be the worst part of it. It was in fine condition. That it was not, it was dry.
Surprised because we used to bowl on Lane 10, we used to have, every time it rained, we got water in our bowling balls.
Oh, that could be good. Now, we went last week when everything dried out, so we didn't have the benefit of a wet condition to know whether there's other vegetables. Other than, no, not necessarily any signs of water damage or mold.
What else would we be using it for?
I think there's a number of possibilities as I laid out in the memo. I don't know if we have to decide that. It's maybe more of a question of, do any of those things worth picking up now?
I'm not sure.
And that could be, its value as a parking lot. You know, the demolition costs would certainly be probably 20,000, 30,000 is my guess, on top of the purchase price. And then to actually put it in the parking lot, maybe, asphalt and grading. It'd be quite a bit to do that, but again, you wouldn't have to decide that now.
Right.
You could hold it until you have a plan and the funds to do what you want to do.
How's the kid feel about having that as a garage versus a
I-
regular garage?
Yeah, I think they'd rather have a regular garage, and they've been in the building while it was abandoned because there were some kids in there or something. They were concerned with the condition of it. Again, to gut it and just to use it as whatever, it would be usable and it still would be, plus it's specific new construction. I think they'd rather have new construction, that would be more expensive.
Is there a current estimate of the property's value right
I think in your pack has the SCD, the taxable value. You do your math and, double that as the approximate market value. It's considered to be worth more than 17,000. Anybody who were to buy it at auction would be doing speculation without, sight unseen, knowing there's probably conditional issues. So we haven't had it appraised at this stage. But the accessory value is there.
Did you go in the lounge part of it?
Yes, that was on this end?
Yeah.
Yes, that was in good condition. In Rob's words, the bathrooms, give them a mop, they would look like brand new. That end of it is in good condition. There's not any known issues. Everything seems to be.
It was mostly on the bowling part of it.
Yeah, any of the questions are on the south end of the building for sure.
Was Rob the only one that inspected this and the other structural engineering?
No. Tom wondered whether he is not a
That's my only concern.
There's some unknowns for sure. And that was the best we could do in order to get on this agenda because you have to decide by
Sure.
this meeting.
So worst case scenario, if we don't use it as a garage somewhere down the road when the village can afford it, possibly become a parking lot.
Possibly become a parking lot, possibly become a community center, possibly become offices. Any public purpose.
Are we gonna paint it immediately?
That is something we would probably want to talk about. I would imagine from the village perspective, we'd rather have it looking better.
Much better. Much better.
And so there would be a.
I buy it just to clean it up.
Yeah.
But, okay. What do you guys think?
I haven't been in there years, so
I haven't either.
I do have to say I helped build the lounge. I know how the lounge is built, so I would, it's in better shape than bowling alley is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think even, like you said, so if we don't end up using it as a police garage, it is a good idea to use for the community, either as parking lot or something else at a later date. Chamber Foundation actually had talked about before, if we could do something over there to clear that building out. And, make some more room for things for the businesses back there, and use some more parking. But, I mean, it's not our property.
I don't know how easy, with the grade difference there, how easy it would be to put in parking. Or it would be expensive, maybe you might have to build a retaining wall and
That's
everything,
what I was thinking.
which could be expensive. Then you have flat surface for parking. And I don't know how many spaces you get. It's, I didn't remember the measurements, but you might get a row or 2 rows of parking perhaps. I don't want to misrepresent that. You get a lot of parking out here.
What would the auction date be for this auction?
Pretty quick, July or August, I believe. And if it were,
But still not prior to our nomination.
right, so if it doesn't sell there, it would go to scavenger sale, where the minimum is $100. And by then, we would have it this September, October. Then you could decide, we'll bid so much, and we could go bid it back. Or, it doesn't sell at scavenger sale, which seems for $100, then you can just, right first refusal,
Well, I like the idea, I just don't know if I like dumping $17,000 on the idea. With where we're at. With the next possible alternatives. I think I'd rather see an audit company first to see.
We still did have stuff set aside for the police garage, right? Or did we change that?
It was in the budget as such. The budget's not necessarily performing on all cylinders to say that we have that much revenue to cover it, I guess. And that's part of the question mark that we're all talking about, and I've been sensitive to. Yes, the $60,000 was in the budget. Whether we have the cash flow to do it, that's where I was, that's the line.
What you got, Keith, anything about it?
Well, we no longer seem to have a budget that includes a police garage. My opinion is to wait this out and see what happens. That's just my opinion. Because now we're gonna send 17,662.52 or whatever. There's been so many buildings that are run down or horrible here in the village that have gone for far less, that made it all the way to the point to be $1. My feeling is, I don't like the idea of jumping in and grabbing this at $17 grand.
I think the last one we did this with, we paid $5,000 over there on the north end of town. Like 13, it was terrible. Yeah.
Oh, the house?
Yeah.
But that's just me, so.
Well, would we have the opportunity to get a structural engineer in there at all? Because that's another concern. I know that Rob does.
Yeah, he's very familiar with the process dealing with walls like that, but no, he's not structurally.
I need to see what happened on the corner.
Yeah, you're spending money to do that.
Well, we know
Yeah, to keep it simple, look, if I knew it wasn't gonna sell for $17,000 at auction, I would tell you 100% wait. The risk that somebody does purchase it at auction for that, and you don't have another bite at the apple for 3+ years, that's I think the only thing that we're waiting here, do you view the risk that you don't have an opportunity for it after the auction, that it doesn't sell at the auction? I have no problem with waiting, of course, and that's your privilege to decide. I'm just acknowledging the risk it goes, and you don't get another chance at it for a long time.
I'm alright with moving on it. I'm not sold that it's a great idea at this point.
Me neither. I didn't claim it to be a great idea.
Just an idea.
Yeah, it is an idea, a recommendation.
All right, so we're in agreement, we're gonna let it go, see what happens.
Yeah.
There's no motion on the resolution.
All right.
Thanks for doing it.
Sure.
Let's go over that, see where we're at now. With the long list of items. Committee reports, infrastructure,
No meeting.
finance administration, public safety.
I met this evening before this meeting, went over a few things. Just went over some protocols and just some things that Chief wanted to bring us up to date on. Pleasantly moving things along, protocols are being followed. Happy to announce that we have a new ordinance officer that started this week. Yeah. So that person, there were 0 incidents reported from the cruising. That was nice, and for the first time in many, many years, we are now staffed 24/7. So we have police around the clock. And I don't think we set the future meeting.
We'll wait till Matt's not.
Right, when he's done.
DDA,
I was out of town for the last
He's
meeting.
not here.
I know,
Yeah.
I was not here for the last meeting, I don't know if someone else was able to attend it.
Yeah,
cheat code, sorry.
more discussion on, finishing the stamped concrete to replace the brick pavers downtown. That's looking like August. They're interested in putting a couple bike racks downtown, which triggered a conversation with MDOT about, is that okay? And they said, probably, but all that other stuff you have downtown, you never got permission from us for. So we'll work that out, and we'll come to an agreement on it. They're fine with it, we just have to put it all in writing, so
What are they upset about downtown?
I don't think they're upset. MDOT's pretty protective of their right of way, so any of the benches, any of the lights,
On the sidewalk?
anything from sidewalk to sidewalk is theirs. And if you put anything in there, yes. There are long stories that aren't that old of communities that have put up things that MDOT came through and tore down because they didn't get permission. MDOT's fine with what's out there. They just want to put it all in writing into a maintenance agreement, and we're working on that. So.
Call MDOT back and ask them to start paying for the stuff in front of the library like there's.
They do pay to stay
They
there.
do,
The
they
rain
pay,
garden.
yeah, they pay. It's reimbursement,
They try to get out of it right away.
I remember, but they do pay for it.
Planning Commission,
Next Tuesday, the 28th.
Airport, Mr. Beaky. You're not there.
The problem's been resolved.
Okay, this is what you wanted to hear. Mr. Titoff is the man. He has basically wiped out the mole population.
At the airport.
At the airport, so anybody's looking
It's not
for
all
moles
over
or
the
somewhere
park.
else. Yeah, well, got a problem over there, I know who you can call. Other than that, they just went over a few things for the fly-in weekend, that's July 9th and 10th. Show up for the breakfast, see some cute Cub Scouts. It'll pan out. That's it. Fire board,
Had 9 runs since last meeting. 5 of them's been in the last couple of weeks here. I should say the last past week. I'm bringing up to 87 runs to total date. On Saturday, they had a work detail at the fire department and put new fresh rock down, landscaping and all that. And they had a breakfast cooked by one of the firefighters for them. I didn't make it because I was at some reunion class, graduation parties. Jeep, brush 1 is the Jeep. That's put back together now, so we're ready for grass fires. We're still waiting on the pump for brush 20, which is a Hummer over in Oakley department. And we got some of the parts in, but we haven't got the rest of it in, so Scott thinks it's going to be here within the next couple of weeks. So, with all this dry weather, we're getting ready for it. So, and then on July 10th and 11th, it's training on search and rescue. Friday, Scott went up to Bay City and looked at the washing machine that the guy had said that we could get for $4,000. It's going to cost us $4,500 for him bringing it down and setting it up and everything. So, we're getting that. And then July 13th at 6 o'clock is the next board meeting.
Task force. Public statements, limited to 3 minutes, any topic. Questions for the board will be recorded and may be answered following meeting, ensuring that council members have time to confirm the accuracy of any answer. This shall not be interpreted as a means to initiate dialogue or debate. Mike Navarro.
Hi, Mike Navarro, 305 South Line Street and 839 Church Street. The one I want to talk about is Church Street. The village put in a fire hydrant there on Church Street.
On the corner, on the curve there.
No problem. Yeah, every right to do it, and it's fine. However, a heads up would have been nice, so I didn't get 100 people calling me going, "What are they doing over in your yard?" You know? And the other thing is, like, you tore up more than 30 feet from center of the road to the end. And I don't even care about that. That's not a big deal, so I'll take care of it. But when I do stuff in my yard, they call Miss Dig and they put all the pines up, I clean all that shit up. So I don't run it over with the lawnmower. And I'm pulling this stuff out of the dirt. So they didn't even move it when they dug and stuff. I just, like, I don't know. Basically saying, like, be a good neighbor and, help me out some, because it really sucks. And you guys aren't going to seed there, what I'm told. Is that correct? You're not seeding there? That's a big barren spot?
Not right now. See what it take right now, but I'm sure. I think it's right out.
Some would take in the middle of the growing season?
Now is not a good time to plant this.
I'm gonna see it. That's all right, but certainly I don't want to cause anything, trust and some contamination or whatever happens. But, yeah, it's all I'm asking. A little heads up would have been nice. And, like, a little effort in the cleanup part of it, the flags and all that. They're a little pain in the, they're a real pain when you run them over the lawnmower.
Especially the flags are off.
Yeah, well, the flag's buried in the dirt, just the wires sticking up, I had to look all over for that. All of them. I got a pile of flags, I don't know if I can throw them away or do I have to get them back to the.
No, you can throw them away now.
That's
You can't remove them before the project's done.
And one other thing, on the way out of town here, can you call MDOT or something and have them put a sign up that said, "Right turn does not stop"? Because I was having to drop my daughter out in New Ulster, because she works out there, and I got bumped in the back by somebody because somebody stopped dead in front of me. And no damage to my truck, it's a big POS, but it damaged their car a little bit, and I didn't hit the guy ahead of me. And then it's getting back. It's like the third or fourth time that I almost got hit, but this time I did get just bumped, not terribly smashed. Maybe I'm not down.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Come on, put a
Yes,
sign up.
yes.
Terrifying there. Now I got an Equinox, and I definitely don't want to get creamed.
No, I seen quite a few people out in front of other cars now in front of me. don't have to stop. Caution right through.
They'll flip you up every time.
Thanks, Mike. Gary? Okay. Steve?
My name's Gary Sukup. I live on Smile Drive, owned by the KC Hall there. Not a village resident, but I'm here for a fact finding mission. Rails for trails. I know this, I was told today when I got the agenda that it's been brought up before. I'm not asking you guys to do anything other than give me information where to start. So I'd like to pursue a rail trail from St. Charles to the fairgrounds or even Oakley or whatever.
That's what I'm talking about, because the right of way was on the railroad. And I think it was also from St. Charles to Dirt Road or Geary Road, they don't use anymore. So it depends if they want to set their train cars on there, yeah. Yeah. So it's all up to the state and the railroad company if they want to do the right of way. We even talked about putting up gas on the side of the tracks.
Right, yeah.
And that's the last thing we ever heard.
I thought Troy had something promising last
Find out
year.
what the cost was like Ashford on.
Yeah.
Well, I thought there was something promising last year, so I thought he was starting to work on it again, but
He's DNR grants on it.
our past administrator.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pursue it, okay? I know the railroad company, I got information on that. I just, one of my questions, pros or cons, is there people in town don't want it, rail to trail?
I think a lot of people want it. Right away, it goes all the way from here all the way up to Saginaw.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that doesn't.
Right. You know,
Right. But we have looked into it a lot before because we have been interested in it.
okay. And then my other question was where to start. Evidently, I gotta do a little more research on that. I know.
Start with these senators.
No, that's what I'm saying. Lansing, what I gotta do. Because, if it's a matter of money, I know it might be expensive, but, I know a few people, when they park their rail cars down there, are not happy with that. Just leaving them there, but.
Maybe check with St. Charles to see how they got theirs going.
Okay.
That's
That's good.
a community that has one currently is probably a great place to
Part
start.
of the
That's one of the
plan on the
better
rail.
ones in Michigan too. I'd like to connect to that.
It's been talked about several times.
I think it'd be, not a big boom, but it'd be big for the chamber, the town, etc. Okay. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Doug Bishop.
He left.
Thought he was gonna get back. Sharon Grant?
I just want to answer one question that you asked. The township, the village, and the school, just adopt the Parks and Rec plan, and that is part, like, in this plan.
Oh, it is
So
in
we
there.
guys should include that little
Okay.
trail.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go into that document, and it's available on the lease one, that's fine.
Parks and Rec. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and then, don't know if anybody knows this, but over the last week, at Back of Eden Way, where the fence is uncovered, the carpet, you're driving from both directions, east side, where it's uncovered, so that corner is wide open, there's no fence there anymore, it's like down. I don't know if you see it, really coming in and out, it's down first. Also, there's a drain tube that runs on the corner by Main, Wolfmer, it's buried until you get to the ditch at Wolfmer, and this tube just lays in there, and they're draining something into the ditch. That's all I wanted to say.
And have Tommy go and check that fence, because that's part of the security problem.
We're aware of a fence over there that blew down, and it needs, I don't know if it's that or not, we'll double check. That's on the east side, you said, the fence?
And it's the part that faces the farm field where the discussion of the 425 was.
Okay.
It's the very front corner of
section, I'm gonna say 10 foot wide, missing.
Okay.
I'll be the first to say I've been out of town, but blew down with recent storms.
It was quite windy.
Yeah, there were some windstorms that came through.
Wouldn't that be a very,
There's some power loss, I know, in Saginaw.
I just worry if it's supposed to be a security fence and it blew down.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's question, definitely question about how good of a fence it was.
Ron? Ron,
I got a couple, just to be informed about, I'm just really 816 Sunflower Drive, Chesting. I'm just really confused on the last 2 council meetings. That's what's been recommended. And, on 5/17, you guys had Mr. Weisenberger come in here and admit that he was wrong on his paperwork, and you guys, fined him. And then, told him, voted not to go back on his property until it went in front of the planning commission. And then the next meeting, he had a recommendation by Mr. Whitman that he could allow him to go back out and be on his property. And I understand that part, because you're not, I understand that, but then you gave him a waive the fee for the special permit. You waived the fee on it. And I was just wondering, when the gentleman came in here and admitted he did wrong, why would the council vote to eliminate the fee? I mean, he's saving $1,000. You fining, and now we're the taxpayers of the village is paying for the fee. And I don't understand. I don't get it. So the residents of the village is paying for his fee. Can you give us an explanation on it, or?
Would the council like me to, as it was discussed at the meeting, the fee, had there been no fine, had it all gone through the proper paperwork, I would still have recommended that the fee be waived, and I expect that the village council would have waived that fee for a couple of reasons. Mainly one, it already has a special use permit. Through the process, and this is an amendment to an existing special use. And as it was discussed at the last meeting, due to that conversation, it was recognized that there were some irregularities in previous and other facility approval processes that were brought into question, and it was thought that the fair thing to do was to waive the fees so that his property was done the right way, and that everybody would, all the facilities would be notified that going forward, we need to make sure to look at the zoning ordinances, look at the marijuana licensing ordinances. I don't know, that's the best way I could summarize it. If you have other questions beyond that, I'm happy to talk with you, and certainly we'll have the planning commission next week.
No, I couldn't hear why the recommendation was a lot. I couldn't hear.
As far as any expenses, there's some expense to having a planning commission meeting, and there's expense to put the notice in the paper and to mail the notices out to the property owners. That'll be covered by the fine. And so the fact that there was already a fee paid to have a special use permit, this is an amendment to that. And for the other reasons, that was a recommendation, and the council agreed.
Well, I just wish that it would have been, other than the taxpayers of the village wouldn't have to pick up the tab or something like that. I don't think it's right that the village, the taxpayers have to pay for that. That's just my opinion on it, and there was something else that I wanted to address too, that the council fined Mr. Weisenberger for not taking proper steps. And I felt kind of this, the administration was like kind of jumping the gun last week, and when you waived the permit or fee already, it hasn't even gone in front of the planning commission. And
And when you made the statement that Mr. Weisenberger wants to get ahead of the planning commission's recommendation or decision, it hasn't even gone in front of the planning commission. I'm gonna say, let the planning commission do its job before we make decisions like that. I just think that the planning commission, it should go in front of the planning commission before anything should be recommended. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Council member statements.
Talking about Eden Way,
Hang on.
No, he didn't sign it.
Well, I'm sorry, I was in dialogue with James Whitman, so, no, I don't really need to address.
Okay.
you guys got the little report on Eden Way the other day. Fire department was called out there while we was doing the accident for illegal burn out there. They would been warned 4 different places out there, and this guy that was burning never told his employees, supposedly, that he couldn't burn, but we figured it was something else. So Scott went out there, read him the riot act, and he also told me to call Eagle. Eagle is going to be out here within the next couple of days and check it. They buried that burn site. So we're just waiting to see what Eagle does.
I don't understand why it's so hard to comprehend that we cannot have a fire.
And they've been warned, I don't know how many times in the past year for the people out there burning that. They all should know better.
As a resident, we know that we can't have a fire
Right.
unless it's within a fire pit. I mean,
I don't know
it's
if we
just
need to
ignorance. It's
stick them the fine on the first offense and that. But
Absolutely.
these guys should know this.
Yeah, when we're revising the ordinances, that's how we want to put something like that.
Is the insurance, trucking insurance gonna take care of the boulevard?
It depends on, yeah, hopefully. Now, I don't know, haven't assessed the damage fully, I guess, as to what the cost is. We have $1,000 deductible. Of course, we can have a mini tour to cover that. So, yeah, well, as soon as I have the accident report, which I should have, we'll go to the insurance.
I see some of Daniel's flowers she planted.
I have just about had it with the people that can't seem to stay on the road doing 25 miles an hour down that boulevard. That's what, 2 or 3 years in a row?
Yep.
Good thing I have extra begonias.
You gotta leave here at 4 in the morning to go to General Motors to see how people drive on that boulevard.
I'm out there at 5 a.m. I know exactly how to drive.
Wear an orange vest or something, 'cause you're gonna get creamed back.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's not me.
Speedway.
It's not me. Village staff reports.
Just a couple of highlights. I just got the citizen survey responses in raw data form. Good news is we had almost 500 responses, which is a response rate of over 26%, which in the survey world is good. You'll have some good validity to the data. It's just going to take me some time to analyze it, because in order to save you money, I said I do the analysis, and I've got to hopefully get to that in the next couple of weeks. That's fantastic. The way I view it is we went around and knocked on every door in the village and said, we have a few minutes of your time, we'd like some feedback. And almost 500 residents said, yes, come on in, we'll give you our time and give you our feedback. So that's fantastic. And we'll get you those results as soon as we get through all the data. One update, the chamber triathlon that was scheduled is not going to happen this year. They've decided not to have it, and they'll aim for next fall. So that was going to be on the same weekend as the softball tournament. Those are my highlights. Answer any questions.
Oh, this hose up here, they need to change the phosphorus. The one right out in the front, right outside the office door.
And when is the maintenance on water tower supposed to be done next? Cleaning. That's getting pretty bad up there.
Between, the time of this contract, I can find out.
I thought we skipped the work session, Matt's not here.
Call, man. Said it didn't have anything.
Okay.
So if nobody has anything, then it's the next thing.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made to adjourn the meeting and supported. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yes. We are adjourned, 8:10.
Got lots of water.
Thank you.